We're ready, right?
Yeah.
Joe, I welcome you all again to our program, Mngxitama on Sunday Live, the news that did not make the news. I want to thank you all who viewed or watched and gave feedback in the last program. This is the third edition of our program. I'm looking forward to an engagement later on with our brother Mngxitama on the biggest scandal in South Africa, that is the scandal of what is called the IPPs. You'll get to know what IPPs are. But this, we believe, is the biggest scandal, which is a scandal which has never made the news. It's not making the news. And it is because a part of the big explanation for this is that the IPPs benefit white monopoly capital, which controls the media. Let's start by also sending our solidarity to the children and the people of Palestine who have been under heavy attack from the occupying forces, Zionist Israel. We are with the Palestinian people. We believe that they are being attacked and they've been murdered in this manner because of their land. The struggle of the Palestinian people for land and our struggle are intertwined. However, we must call out the South African Muslim community. It supports the Democratic Alliance, which is a Zionist organization, which is an pro-Israeli formation. You can't say you are of the Palestinian people, but you are of the DA. Similarly with the EFF of Julius Malema. They claim to be supporting the Palestinian people. However, they've given political power to the same Zionist, pro-Israeli Zionist government of Israel. How is that? The DA is clear and open about supporting the racist, Zionist, fascist state of Israel. EFF give them political power. Muslim people in the Western Cape in particular vote for the DA. And then they turn around and say they are with the Palestinian people. The hypocrisy must end. We are with the Palestinian people and all those who support the racist Zionist Israeli government. Let's also turn to our brother Malcolm X, who turned 93 yesterday. You know, Malcolm X was murdered, of course, by the fascist government of America. One of the important lessons that we must take from Malcolm X is how he deals with the media. This program, remember, has got to do with the media. We have to tell our own narrative because the dominant narrative in society is the narrative of our enemies, white monopoly capital. Malcolm X, who would have turned 93 yesterday, said this about the media, and I quote, "The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. That's power, because they control the minds of the masses." The media controls, close quote basically, the media controls the minds of the masses. In South Africa, everybody says the Guptas are corrupt and bad, Zuma is corrupt and bad, there's state capture, but they actually don't know where they got that from. It is from the media. It every day plants the idea in your mind. You end up believing that and you end up saying this because they also give you the discourse to say these things. Remember, good lesson, important lesson from Brother Malcolm X. The media controls the mind of the masses. And here we're trying to liberate the mind of the masses from the media of white monopoly capital. It's not an easy task because we're inside the discourse of white monopoly capital. So we say to Brother Malcolm X never die. Malcolm X lives. Now let us just check quickly the South African Sunday papers. These are the biggest papers in South Africa. The news that not make the news. Just check. Let's start with City Press. City Press, by the way, is owned by Naspers. That is it's got to do with Supra faking death threats and the British traditional leadership wedding. Let's look at what's supposed to be a progressive newspaper, the Sunday Independent. It is involved in the disputes around the inheritance of Mama Mary Makeba. Sunday Times. on the sex scandal. Sunday World, sex scandal. What is the big news which not make the news? The DA's racist Maria Ocampo, a fraudster, a criminal who lied about her qualification to get a job to babysit our brother Soli Msimang. I call him a puppy of Helen Zille. Soli Msimang is supposedly the mayor, but they make the DA white people send a white woman there without qualifications to basically supervise him. She gets outed. It is not in any of these front pages. Think if it was a black woman, a black person, or the ANC person who had been found to have been corrupt like this, it will be on the front pages of all the papers. No, she is white. In fact, when the story broke out, they did not even show her pictures. We had to start probing and asking where are the pictures. They were showing the pictures of the black brother, the puppy, brother Soli Msimang, not the pictures of the corrupt fraudster Marietta Ocampo, who has since resigned. The ANC in Tshwane says it's going to open a case against her. We'll wait and see as BLF. If they don't do this, we will take over and go ahead and open a case against this criminal and fraudster. That is the news that not make the news. She's nowhere in the news because she's white. Because in South Africa, white corruption is permitted, is welcomed. Now I want to turn to our brother Ashwin Williams. I think it's Ashwin Williams. Yes. Our brother is a national hero for standing up for black dignity. The two racists must be fired. The two racists that brother Ashwin was responding to, what must not happen is punishing black people for standing up against racism. All those black people on Twitter who make a lot of noise, who support our brother Ashwin, please, let's not allow DSTV and Super Sports to again punish our brother. The people who must be punished are the Boere, racist rugby players who continue their racist arrogance and in fact racism against our brother. We must stand up. DSTV, it is not Ashwin who must lose his job. It is the racists who must lose their job. In fact, we are openly demanding that DSTV, Super Sport, to withdraw these racists from our screens. If they don't, well, we will have to visit them. We will have to do the disruption ourselves. But all of those black people out there who have heard about the story, who stand with brother Ashwin, let it not end on Twitter. Ashwin must not be punished for standing up against racism. Too many black people get punished when they oppose racism. Brother Ashwin, Velemse, Viva, you are our leader. You're a good example. That's what sports people should do, standing up for justice. Now let's talk about the British traditional wedding. Okay, I don't have anything against soap operas. It's fine. There's no problem. Well, apparently the SABC bought rights to broadcast for the whole day this wedding. The whole day, our people are watching a traditional leadership wedding of the British people. They'll never do this for black people here. The worst thing that I want you to remember today, the news, which did not make the news, is that when this traditional wedding was going on, valorizing the British imperialists, our traditional leaders were attacked by the ANC at the same time. The ANC had the so-called land summit where it again emphasized that land of black people under the Mngxitama Trust, our traditional leaders must be taken. They praise British imperialist traditional leaders, they attack South African and African traditional leaders. We as black people must be very careful. You can't love the British traditional leadership and look down upon your own. Not only that, but try to also dispossess them. Kgalema Motlanthe, Julius Malema, and the racists of the University of Western Cape are clear. The Mngxitama Trust must be dispossessed. On the other hand, all of us who love and respect black people say, hands off the Mngxitama Trust. Leave the Mngxitama Trust alone. That is one of the few pieces of land that black people still have. Today, let's turn to Latin America. Today in Venezuela is the elections. all the progressive people in the world stand with brother Maduro, who's there contesting for the president of that country. He's facing America, Britain, the EU, the imperialist world is against brother Maduro, who is there in the choice of the Venezuelan people. Today the elections are going on, they've been observed, and we know that Venezuela runs the cleanest electoral process. We say, viva Comrade Nicolas Maduro, viva. The people of the world and the oppressed of the world and the oppressed of Venezuela want you to be president. America can stop the historical process. The dream of Chavez must continue. So we root for Maduro in this election today. Hopefully today or Tuesday when they will announce that the dream of the Chavista revolution continues. Now, let me not waste your time with the ANC Land Summit, but they have a Land Summit continues today. That Land Summit is to make sure that land expropriation without compensation does not happen. In fact, all the main speakers, if you look at them, and this is the news that not make the news, Cyril Ramaphosa was one of the main speakers, Professor Ben Carson, Professor Ruth Hall, Kgalema Motlanthe, Advocate Thembeka Mngxitama, all of them are against the amendment of the Constitution to give us land expropriation without compensation. So what they are doing, they are calibrating, twisting, turning, and also giving a spin to the ANC resolution for land expropriation without compensation to make sure it does not happen. Mngxitama was very smart yesterday. I saw a tweet, somebody quoting him saying, we need institutional reform. Very, very careful choice of words. Institutional reform, not constitutional reform, because he believed the Constitution is adequate as it is. I'm going to deal with him in another program because he's a judge in the Land Claims Court and he's making very bad decisions against black people and has written a book that says the land is ours. But here's the point, and here's the truth. There shall be no amendment of the Constitution until the elections, and in fact, even after the elections. The talk of land expropriation without compensation is, I now believe, a design program, a program designed in Britain by Lord Reuben Renwick. It's a rhetorical device to bring Julius Malema and Cyril Ramaphosa together. They will now say we agree on the most important thing, land expropriation without compensation. In fact, as a talk of land expropriation without compensation, without expropriation of land, there will be no expropriation of land. I want to say this. At the end of August, after the roadshow, Parliament has just agreed on the roadshow, not on land expropriation. There will be a report, and that report will say different views in South Africa about land expropriation without compensation. Some other committee must deal with this. And that committee will go on forever because there's no will to do land expropriation without compensation. Okay, last week we gave you the first 5 of the journalists that worked with apartheid, that worked for apartheid, which are spies, the spies of apartheid in the newsroom. Every week, we're going to give you 5. Last week, we gave you 5. This week, we'll give you another 5. Now, and we have been saying to you, it is up to them to say no. It is up to them to say they are not apartheid spies. And it is up to SANEF, the South African National Editors Forum, to actually go to court. Not to stop us from revealing these names, but to go to court and say, 1, the South African government must reveal the files that shows who was the spy of apartheid. That's number 1. But more importantly, there is Vic McPherson. He has come out and he says got 40 names. Why is SANEF not putting a law or a court application to ask that Vic McPherson must reveal the names of the 40 journalists? It is because SANEF itself, it is run by the same apartheid spies. That's why. We are not going to wait for SANEF. We're going to continue to reveal the names of those that we have been given as part of the 40. So today we start with Johnny Alan. No, not Johnny Alan. Johnny Alan. We remember Johnny Alan? Hoe gaan dit, Johnny? Ek weet jy kyk vir die program. Ons hoor nou jou naam is op die lys van those who work for apartheid. Johnny Alan, we know that she was big Mgobozi for white people journalist. She worked for the Sunday Times, and then she ended up, of course, in that compromising situation with Eugene Terreblanche, and white people exposed her, and then they discarded her. But now, information is Johnny Allen was one of those who are in the list of 40. Then you have Charlene Smith. She claims to be a liberal. She claims to have fought against apartheid. She claims to be an activist for social justice. Wow. The list we've got says Charlene Smith is one of the agents of apartheid. Ken Owen, he's no more. He's going to join P.W. Botha and others. Ken Owen was a long-time editor of the Sunday Times.